Hi and welcome back. In this video we'll have a look at how to debug Giant's editor scripts using Giant Studio 10.0.0. We'll start off with our example map and open it up, or maybe better yet, start off at GDN, go to downloads, make sure you have the latest editor version 10.0.5 installed and the latest version of Studio 10.0.0. We were going to our map, we're just going to open up our map file, so we have something in GE to work with. That's opened up. We'll also open up Giant Studio. I don't think we need this anymore, so we're going to uncheck that. Now it already preloaded my project. We can have a look at the project settings. At the source paths, I included two paths, one for the editor, one for my user settings of the editor. So those paths actually are here. This is where the editor is installed. And then there's a second path where your user settings for the editor are located. If you look at GE itself, when we open up the script editor, we can see the difference over here. These ones will be stored in your installation path, and these scripts are custom scripts and will be installed at user level instead of at system level. So for now, we just want to add both directories, user profile app, that's my farming simulator profile, save game folder. Custom directory, we can't really change that. Game source, it's linking to the unzipped version that is included with the game at exactly that location. Script binding is also included with the game. Launch working directory is where my game installed. And lastly, we have the executable. I will start a 64 version, but we're not even going to use this because we're going to link to the editor instead of the game instead. So once we have this going, we can press save. Those are our project settings, and that should cause both of these script folders to show up. These are the custom scripts if you have some, and these are the built-in ones, and we can see over here already map placeables, and we have the placeableToolkit, but also, for example, the fieldToolkit that is included. Now, we have the code for those scripts over here, and we have the editor running over here, but they aren't linked together yet, but we have a button for that. So basically, when we open the studio window over here, you can see it's waiting for something to connect with. Now we can start up Farming Simulator and press F10 to connect, but instead of that, we're going over here and we're going to press Connect to Studio. This will link to the same default local port, and this is now linked up with the Giant Studio, which means we can add breakpoints, but the linking is only for these scripts that can be executed. So not everything or the other stuff in the editor you can bind to that or pause running while running it. So let's give an example of what is actually possible. When we open up Studio again, I can place a breakpoint over here in our placeableToolkit. And when we open it up, the editor seems like it's frozen, but when we swap to our Studio version, we should see our pointer now over here. When I press F10, I can move through the lines and they are executed every time I press F10, and F10 is the same as step over. So it just means execute this line and break on the next line again. Right now, we're not even executing anything, we're just loading in the file. So I'm going to let this continue and give control back to my editor. Now I can do things again over here. We'll try the same thing with this button. When we click on it, we want to go back to our editor. The most general way to do this is we can press pause. And now, once some logic starts executing again, we will swap back again to the editor where it is running some new code. And again, nothing is you can not see anything yet over here, but when I press F10 once, this opens the pop-up window, exactly what we expected that would happen. And we're going to link this. Actually, we'll configure it while we're here. We're going to link this to our production mod and select the folder. This didn't seem to update, so I'm curious what's going to happen later on. Why didn't it update? Because we're here in Studio, and it's going to do the next line. It's going to actually set the folder. I'm going to let this thing go on. We should double check the placeable, but it seems correct. That's actually the map we have open. Maybe we can validate the placeables. Nothing to validate, that's great. Let's try to import something. But nothing's going to happen. Maybe we should add some kind of debug point. Where do we want to break? Maybe over here. We have two buttons, create placeable, referenced, and imported. So those are these two buttons. If we press the referenced one, we will do this function, create placeable. We'll pass it through. So let's look at the function. Create placeable over here. When we enter this code, maybe break again so we can step through it. Let's do this. So it breaks immediately. Now we can run through this. It will validate terrain. We have terrain. It will open a new file dialog. We're going to have to enter an XML file. Let's do that. And select placeable. Let's select the bakery. Now we go back to our editor. We'll check, and now we should have an XML file name. When we go to locals over here, we can also see it over here. That this is our XML file. We'll store that in another setting object for later on, and we'll save those settings to disk. Next up, we're actually going to load the same file. So this one, the one from the specialized bakery, and we're going to store it in our XML file. Let's keep running through this. This seemed to have worked, so now we have an XML file over here with a file object, with a file handle. And we're going to check the XML file if it has the placeable thing. Let's see if we can maybe check it manually. So over here it's looking for the specialized bakery XML. Let's open this one up. It's going to look for placeable. That indeed exists. So it should have no problems with that. Next up, it's going to look for placeable base file name. So it's going to look for placeable base file name. It should fetch out this string for us, which is the location where the i3d file is referenced. Let's do that. Now we have it. Seems correct. And now we're going to trigger this one. So utils.getFileName, it should return the file name inside of the mod folder we specified earlier. The mod folder is this one on top, which we changed to be the production which we are actually loading. Right now, i3d file name, we can see it over here, is just placeable. If we go one line further, now it should have been updated with the full path to the actual object, so the editor can load it later on. We're going to delete the XML file, not really delete the file, but just unload it from memory because we don't need it anymore. Now, if we are referenced, I think we are, doesn't matter. We're going to do the create i3d reference. So now we're actually going to import this i3d file, which is going to be at this location. Keep on stepping through it with F10. Did we have a failure reason? I wasn't following along. Maybe I don't think we had. So now we're going to take a root name. Just let it do its thing. It's looking for where to add a node. Now we should be creating objects. Let's do its thing. Maybe even continue completely. And eventually we should see our newly imported bakery imported from the location we were debugging over here. That's how you can interject in the scripts while they are running and see what they are doing. So I guess that's it for this video. Have fun.